You are going to die. Look around. Everyone buried here had plans, dreams, lists of things they'd someday do. They ran out of time. You're running out of time too. You have big ideas, the business you want to start, the app you want to build, and you have more knowledge and tools at your fingertips than any human being before. But day after day, the sun rises and sets, and all that's changed is that you're 24 hours closer to death. Maybe your excuse is that you're preparing or researching. So when you finally take that first step, it's the perfect first step, as if there is such a thing. Maybe you have so many ideas that you don't know which one to pursue. But time is indifferent to your preparation or indecision. You have to stop wasting it before you get here. So here's what we're doing today. Grab your favorite note-taking technology, whether that's an iPad or a pen and pencil. Seriously, pause this and go do it. This video is not an idle watch. It is a working session. You can follow along, or you can die with your ideas still inside you. Your pick.
I know 90% of you won't grab a pencil, so I made this Notion template for you to complete as well. You can click on the link in the description, and I'll pin it in the comments for your enjoyment. Just please do it. So, after a recent video I made about how social media is turning us into gooners, I was inundated by comments that all had the same sentiment. Phone addiction is keeping people from accomplishing what they want in life. From completely burnt attention spans to flat-out addictions, leaving their mind numb and incapable of achieving their goals after scrolling. I knew that even though I don't look exactly like Ali Abdaal or Thomas Frank, I still feel like I have a duty to make a video trying my best to take a stab at uncovering this phenomenon and how to kickstart a way out of it, because I've lived it. In researching for this video, an old goal-setting study from the 80s I learned about a long time ago kept popping up in my head. It showed that 8 out of 10 people would never achieve the goals they set out for themselves. And this was before smartphones and social media were hijacking our attention spans. So I looked deeper into this. Turns out the average millennial and Gen Z human spends 6 hours a day on their phone. That's a quarter of their day. For the average person watching this video, a quarter of your life will eventually be spent on your phone. That's 42 hours a week, a full-time job, 84 days per year, or 2.33 years per decade gone to an aluminum rectangle that just lives in your pocket. When folks are on their deathbeds, the number one thing they wish they could get back is time. And we are flushing ours down the internet toilet. So on the first interactive part of this video, stop this and go look at your average daily screen time. Once you've got that number, come back and plug it into this formula. If you're using the Notion doc, all you have to do is put the number in this cell and it will do the calculations for you. So say your average daily screen time is 4 hours. That means that your yearly screen time is 1460. Your yearly screen time in days is 60 days per year. And then you're spending 2 months per year on your phone, right? And then this is the amount of months of screen time in 10 years that you'll be spending on your phone. If this number scares the living shit out of you, I suggest you look at some of the tools I have listed in the description box below, like Brick and Opal, that restrict your ability to doom scroll or use your phone for other frivolous bullshit. Tools are your friend in this endeavor. Breaking the dopaminergic scroll cycle can be very difficult to do on your own. So we know we're wasting a quarter of our lives doing something completely unproductive, and hopefully that scares us into doing something to recoup that time. Now the question becomes, what will you do once you get it back? Here's how I'm going to help you answer that in this video. I'm going to share my story of how I saved my life from overplanning and overconsumption, help you define your goals and how to eliminate the friction that keeps you from achieving them, and help you make a step-by-step guide to getting exactly what you want. By the end of this video, you will know what your main priorities are and have an actionable game plan for how to craft a life that gets you into that 20% that actually do make shit happen. So welcome back, and if you're new here, I'm Lauren. I make videos about the intersection of technology, human relationships, and human potential.
Please like this video and subscribe if you haven't already, and strap in for a nice productive YouTube video. In all seriousness, this is gonna be a little bit more personal than my normal content, but that's because I think you deserve more authenticity from me if I'm going to fearmonger and force it out of you. So a little about me. I won't go into diagnoses, have fun trying in the comments, but I have an overloaded brain at almost every minute of every day, and my life reflects it for good and for bad. I've worked in tech, entertainment, education, built a business, created content. I've even built systems for neurodiverse people who had difficulty getting their life together as my job. But it's easier to help others than it is to help yourself. And as a creative person now in a period of my life where I am locked in on creating, I realize that I have wasted years of my life to the techno spiral. I wanted to make YouTube videos since I was a kid. In fact, I did when I was a teenager, and then I stopped. It took me 8 years to make a video here. I have footage of me filming with intention to post during that time. From my time learning how to code in college, other self-development content, music making content. I knew I wanted to share on YouTube, but I had so much indecisiveness that even when I did have the time to put my work together, I didn't have a direction. That is 8 years I'll never get back. 8 years closer to my own gravestone. When I finally published my first real YouTube video, I felt 2 things simultaneously. Gratitude that it worked, and rage that I waited so fucking long. But even when I had a direction, I let my indecisiveness create friction that ate up time that I will never get back. I've been chronically online almost since I was an infant, and there are a lot of danger holes in the cyber world we live in, from self-help content black holes to research rabbit holes that feel productive but are really just advanced pseudo-intellectual procrastination. I have lost years of productive time to thinking instead of building, consuming so much how to fix your life content that I never actually fixed my life. When it came to things I really cared about, I was terrified to be seen trying. I cared way too much about what people might think if they saw me in the cringe phase of building. And the truth is, being afraid of what people think is the most debilitating thing to your personal development in the world. Equally, taking yourself too seriously is also antithetical to achieving your goals.
Okay, so grab that pen and paper or Notion doc. And as you can tell by the title, we're going to play a very fun game.
Imagine you wake up tomorrow and you're dead. In a room, like an asylum, and it's just you, yourself, and white walls. And you only have a little bit of time to think before everything goes blank forever. What are the things that you're gonna think, damn, I wish I did that? What are you going to be upset that you didn't do? Give yourself a few minutes and write these things down, and I'm gonna do it too.
Okay, so look at your list. This is the easiest way to get a list of what it is you want to do with your life. In my opinion, what do you want to do with your life is a shit question and provides panic attacks instead of answers.
What do you want to do with your life?
But hopefully I psyoped you into admitting to yourself all the things that you know you want to do with your life in under 5 minutes. After you have these things listed, in the columns to the right of this list, we're going to rate each of them by 2 things: how important they are and how actionable they are on a scale from 0 to 10. This can be a little qualitative and intangible and strange, so I'll give you a run through of how I scored mine to give you an idea in case any of yours are similar to mine. So I'll go through. I didn't have a family on my own. I really want kids one day. That's important to me for certain life reasons. It's not super actionable right now, so 9 to 11. I want to grow my YouTube. Without even scoring this, I know this is likely going to end up being a top priority. I already know how to make it actionable. I have made it actionable. It is really important to me. It's something that I really want to do. I'm doing it now. I didn't start another business. I would be upset about that, but I know that I have time to do it. It's not super actionable for me, so I scored it as important, but not actionable in this moment as I'm doing this activity. I didn't write and publish a book. I know that I want to really write a book for some reason. That's a big goal of mine in my life. Writing doesn't come naturally to me. Math and science do. I've had to work a lot to become a good writer, and I want to become great. I'm trying to do that, but I'm not going to write a book right now. It's just not going to happen. I want to do more music. It's important to me. Music was my first love, but it's actually more actionable than it is important because I have all the instruments, and once I have time to do it, I will do it. The last one, I died before my parents. They would be upset with me that I did that. So I said it's pretty important, but besides doing like Brian Johnson stuff and mummifying myself or wingsuiting, it's not very actionable. So 2.
Yeah, so most likely good news, you're probably not going to die tomorrow. But bad news, we still have a lot of work to do. So the next game, we're going to call this game the What If It All Works Out game.
What if it all works out? So now having these things written down up here, it's nice, but if you try to do all of these things at once, you will fail. Juggling lots of tasks, it feels productive, but the thing about juggling is that even if you're good at it, all you're doing is moving objects in a fixed loop. And if you're bad at it, you just fail at all of them. So accomplishing anything of meaning requires a great deal of focus, and the challenge that basically all great accomplishers face is balancing the dedication required to reach goals with everything else in life. This is about big goals, and even the big goals need to be trimmed as well. Which brings us to the commandments. So an integral part of this journey is to uphold the commandments of this reset, which are 1, to be great, you must focus on one thing at a time. And 2, what you cannot hyperfixate on, you must habitualize.
Acclimatize, double acclimatize, no acclimatize.
Acclimatize. So looking at the things from activity 2, the highest total category is your goal. And the runner-ups are the things you're going to develop habits for so that they will be attainable enough for you to focus on after this goal is accomplished. So you're just going to write them here in this box. Here's what it looks like. It should look empty here. You're going to have your main goal. You're going to put it here. You're going to flip it on its head and invert it to something that you will do instead of something that you didn't get to do. And that looks like this. I will grow my YouTube. I'm focusing on quality content. My runner-ups are I will start another company, I will learn to produce my own music, and release a dope album. These 2 things are important to me. They were my runner-ups up here. So what can I do that's not a ton of cognitive fatigue daily and just something that is a habit? Okay, back to a little story time of why I made this section before we get deep into the goals section. It took being around some absolute machines of human beings to teach me the lesson of absolutely decimating the friction that was keeping me from actualizing my goals. So when I was younger, I had this friend, Sammy. She would think of something and do it. No elaborate planning phase, no 10 hours of watching other people do it first on YouTube. She just executed. She wasn't the most creative person I knew. She also wasn't the most intelligent. Her advantage was that she was a machine. She outgrew every role because she didn't hesitate. Now she runs a top marketing business, leveraging other people's creativity and intelligence to execute her vision. At the time, I thought my gifts of being educated and creative were supposed to be an advantage. I had a racing mind, though, and it could see a million possibilities. But that was paralyzing me because if you can imagine 1,000 paths, you can walk none of them. And while I was standing there researching and imagining while doing work just to pay the bills, my life was passing me by. In the last few years, I met someone else who was like that, Lyle. He had no credentials or education, just an ability to act without friction. He had started million-dollar businesses because he didn't have the barrier I had between thought and execution. I stood in front of him with my multiple degrees and multiple machine learning certifications and told him about my big ideas. I told him maybe after the next few career moves, I'd start my own thing because building my own business was my dream. He looked at me and said, "Why don't you just do it now?" That question hit me like a death notice because the answer was there was no reason except fear and friction. We started a SaaS business together, and within a few months, we were making more per month than my job was paying me and made over $1 million for our clients. And that cemented it. Execution is a learnable skill. The gap between these individuals, Sammy and Lyle, and me wasn't intelligence or creativity or anything else. It was just execution without friction. The next goal I decided I wanted to accomplish was making those YouTube videos I was so passionate about. And now the only reason my thoughts got turned into words that are hitting your ears right now is because I finally started executing on my goals. Okay, so this is the stage where I could plug some project management software startup with AI-powered assistance and AGI rollouts, but this is not that video. This is a genuinely human intelligence-powered video. We are using only our brains to do this thing for this reset. Don't you dare go to Claude right now and ask it to break down your goal into tasks. Do this yourself. So first, we are going to break down the goal into 3 big task buckets and then assign subtasks to each of these tasks to get them done. Here is what mine looks like. So I have broken my goal down into 3 tasks: writing, filming, editing, and then I have my subtasks for each of these. So once you have these tasks in place, you can plug them into the time that you have in your day, that you have replaced doom scrolling with productivity. I hope this simple worksheet helps kickstart a new chapter for you, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, this is going to look different for every single goal, but this is all you need. You don't need a bunch of extra fluff. These are the things that you're going to plug into your calendar when you have time to do something with your life, right? So, okay, I'm going to research for the script, or I'm going to do the final edit. You don't just say, I'm going to write. That's too big of a task. Even just for a YouTube video, it's too big of a task. So you need a subtask. Your life is composed of subtasks, one after another, in order to get a goal done. You now have the basic tools required to win your game of life, one big goal at a time. I hope this was able to help you in some meaningful way. I'd love to hear what your main goal is down in the comments, along with any realizations you may have had during this video. And like I said, this isn't my normal content, but I felt this was really important to get out of my brain and into the internet and into your lovely, beautiful, squishy brain. No matter what you're going through, we all have shit and struggles and responsibilities, but just know that you do have control over the way your life goes, and whatever you're going through, it will get better. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like and subscribe, and hit me with a "I choose life, Foyd" in the comments. It helps the algorithm push this out to other people like yourselves who might also want to watch this video. Thanks guys, stay safe, do good work, and until next time, don't die.